We're going to start with the billions of dollars on the line that Governor Greg Abbott is back in D.C. now for the second straight week asking for.
Yeah, he's pushing Congress, pushing hard now to pay Texas back taxpayer money for the state's efforts to secure the southern border. ION Politics reporter Jack Fink has spent the day on Capitol Hill. I know you got some time with the governor one-on-one. What did he share with you today? How goes the fight for the money?
Well, Doug and Nicole, just in the past hour, Governor Abbott met with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, for the second time in a month. And the governor told me earlier this afternoon that he's feeling pretty good that Congress is going to grant his request and reimburse the state for $11 billion that it used to secure the southern border and prevent illegal immigration. And earlier this afternoon, the governor met with members of the Texas congressional delegation to discuss this.
I'm going to be meeting with the Speaker once again today. I met with him a couple of weeks ago. What I can tell you is this, and that is general counsels, the people who've been working on this behind the scenes, whether it be in the Department of Homeland Security, in the White House, in the Speaker's leadership. They've all been working to work towards getting this mission accomplished. And so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
The governor is also returning to the White House tomorrow, but unlike last week, he will not be meeting with President Trump. Abbott said that if Congress pays back the state, they will be receiving about 70 miles of border wall that either has already been built or in the process of being completed, along with other barriers that state National Guard members have put into place. The governor has also offered the federal government 2,400 beds to house U.S. troops and federal agents at two newly built military bases. Democratic members of Congress tell me the governor's Operation Lone Star and his requests for reimbursement are publicity stunts and a complete waste of taxpayer money. Republican members of Congress say the state is justified in making its request.
I think it makes sense that at this time, the relatively small price tag of $11 billion to reimburse the taxpayers of Texas for doing the federal government's job, the time is right to do that. I think the administration would be enthusiastic to do so, and especially at a time in which we're taking care of disasters all across the country. This is but a small piece of the pie.
And I think, Governor Abbott is not just asking for a handout. These are legitimate costs that he can defend. But he's also coming and saying, how can we partner, Trump administration, how can we partner with you to do what we need to do?
The only time I remember the numbers going down is when Biden issued his executive order that made some changes to the asylum process. I otherwise don't remember the numbers going down, because at the same time that Governor Abbott is claiming the numbers went down, he was still busing people to New York. So if the numbers are going down, why are you busing the people to New York? That doesn't make any sense.
Congresswoman Julie Johnson of Farmers Branch sent us a statement also criticizing the governor's request, calling it, quote, nothing more than a political stunt that does nothing to help Texas families. The only thing that Governor Abbott and Republicans have done is spend billions on ineffective measures like Operation Lone Star and pass bills that violate your constitutional rights of due process, encourage racial profiling, and put the lives of Texans in danger. One Republican member of Congress told me today he's hoping that Congress will approve the governor's request by late April. At the U.S. Capitol, Jack Fink, CBS News, Texas.